shows, and more. Vern's World Quarantine Excellent.
All right. Hello and welcome to the Form the Head podcast. This is a show for electronic musicians. Each week we talk to producers, performers, promoters, and inventors about process, inspiration, motivation, and stories of individual journeys. I'd like to take a second and ask you guys to visit our Patreon. It is patreon.com/formthehead, and it is a subscription service that allows supporters to help out artists and creators. And this show is going to be a little weird because it's our first ever via Skype, and it is going to be on Vern's World Friday, which is tomorrow at 4 p.m. So this may be like out of sync with the audio part, but whatever. So today we're going to be talking about married life. We're going to talk about Vern's World. We're going to talk about Hogan's Slough, When It Rains It Pours, and undoubtedly Bernie Sanders at some point with my very special guest, Avila. Vern what? What is your last name, Vern?
My last name is Avila, actually.
That's your real last name?
That's my real last name.
That's awesome. I didn't know that. Because I was listening back to the LIVESTREAM interview that we did last June.
Oh my God.
It seems like forever ago now.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And I was like, what do I say? And you just say Vern Avila or Veronica Avila. It's like, oh, okay. But that's cool.
Yeah.
So I wanted to start the show today with just a huge thank you. It's an incredible honor to have you back on the show and to be doing it in this way. And thank you for doing Vern's World and for putting up with my weird shit and getting this on there. Thank you for the music and the energy that you bring to our community. You're fucking crushing it right now, and you're a huge inspiration to everybody here. And I know that I speak for the entire Portland music community when I say thank you for doing what you do. It is greatly appreciated.
Oh, holy moly.
Yeah.
I thank all of you for being so awesome and inspirational, and thank you for having me on and for representing for so many other people, I wouldn't be doing this if there wasn't so much kick-ass shit happening in Portland and around the world. So thanks to everyone.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about what's going on right now. So you started live streaming from your basement. You've essentially turned your house into a TV studio.
Yeah.
Because we're in the middle of coronavirus outbreak. The world is a crazy, weird place right now, and looks like you're hanging tough. Do you want to talk about your experiences with that? Like, what's going on?
I mean, I feel like I've been relatively lucky. The work that I do has continued to happen. So some of the work that I'm doing has gone remote, and then my other job, I'm pretty much the only person I work with in real life. So I've been able to continue doing that, which is a rare story these days, and I'm super grateful for that. As far as the Vern's World thing, like, we all had so many shows canceled immediately when this was happening, and being that music and hanging out with friends is one of the things that, like, keeps me sane, I immediately tried to figure out a way to be able to keep hanging out with people and keep playing shows with people and going to shows, basically, because we're all gonna lose it.
Yeah, we are. I mean, it's very much a community thing right now, and we are all in it together. It's not even a cliche right now. So, yeah. So, did you have any prior experience to using Twitch or live streaming or anything like that, or even throwing shows in your basement prior to the fucking stand?
Live streaming and Twitch, no. I basically figured all that out pretty quickly. And then throwing shows in the basement, yes, done that a bunch of times.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I did a long, long time ago, at the turn of the century, go to school for television editing.
Oh shit.
So when I downloaded the software for it, it was pretty. I was like, oh, this is cool.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
never got a degree, but I know enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're currently in school, right? You're PCC.
Yeah, I'm at Portland Community College for the creative coding program right now.
Hmm. So are you in like the year-long program?
Yeah, for the time being, that's
Hmm.
the plan.
Hmm.
May extend that, but I'm just kind of riding the wave right now. I wanted to go on tour, but
Yeah.
maybe I'll just keep going to school.
Yeah. So, this is going to be your last term then? Is this like your wrap up for the year program?
Yeah. Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, and what's happened with the schools in light of with like your classes and things like is it all just online now and
Yeah, we've
uh
pretty much gone completely remote. And
mhm,
any classes that can't do that, I'm not really sure how that's going to work. Luckily, the classes that I'm signed up for are computer based already, so the the biggest problems is like PCC really tries to work with making everything as accessible as possible. So there are people who would have signed up that can't because they don't have a computer
right.
that can run the programs, or they can't afford the programs that we're going to be learning, which is a huge bummer.
Yeah. I saw that Cycling 74 who does Maximus P, they have like some kind of deal for students, right?
Yeah, if you're a student, it's like $10 a month, which is
Hmm.
really nice. They also have a 30-day free trial.
Hmm.
I haven't checked. A lot of places or a lot of companies like that are extending their free trials because of what's going on.
Right.
And also, I think like some, I'm not sure like to what extent, but I think some companies are like trying to give teachers some free subscriptions to give to people for the
Hmm.
semesters and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Very cool. And I mean, you had one of the last real life parties, I think, when you got married on Leap Day, February 29th. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
An astonishing turnout of warm-hearted people at your reception that I got to go to. That was awesome.
Yeah, it was really fun.
Um, yeah, and I'm glad that it got to happen. Like I mean, had it been like a month later or something, you'd be SOL. So,
Yeah,
but you guys got married in virtual reality, is this right?
that's right.
You got married to Ian Gorman Wyland?
Yep, the other half
Yep,
of Elrond.
that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
But you guys got married in virtual reality, is this right?
That's right.
You got married to Ian Gorman Weiland?
Yep.
Yep.
The other half of Elrond.
That's right. That's right. My sister got married right before Katrina happened. And so
Oh, wow.
I think maybe it might be like a good, maybe in a weird way, like a good omen that, you know, the huge crazy disasters happen right after you get married.
Yeah, if we can stick through this, we can stick through anything, huh?
Maybe so. We'll see. But yeah, I think you guys can stick through anything. So this is awesome.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, congratulations. How is, I mean, it must be difficult to kind of like be like, oh, this is married life, and then like this is like quarantine life, like so.
Yeah, it's definitely the strangest honeymoon I could never have dreamed of.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely bizarre. It's been kind of cool because we're like on overdrive writing a ton of music. Like Ian's been just cranking them out. And,
Totally.
And I've been doing some cranking. So that part's been, you know, the silver lining to this like really shitty situation. But yeah.
So that gets me. That's like actually the first thing on my list after was your process. I'm super interested in how you get into the zone, how much time you allocate for like creating new music or practicing you know, the stuff that you play out regularly. What is your creative process? What's your flow look like?
I do, it's complicated. I do like a little bit of preparation with my samples, in the sense that I'll just make a fresh pile of sounds that are cool, but I have no idea where I'm going to take them. And usually I'll just go down to the basement, and just kind of let it rip. I, basically my process consists of just standing in front of my stuff and letting whatever happen. And if I feel like it's worth repeating, I'll figure it out to like learn how to play it. And if I don't, then I just let it go.
Do you just kind of like have a setup and like what you jam on is what you play out with, or do you have like a separate like home studio versus like live rig?
I basically just set up with what I'm going to play live. A lot of the way that I play solo is like basically setting up like improv piles. So I have like, I set up different toolkits for different movements of improvisation. Even like, you know, like my dancier. You
were saying something about the dance songs.
Oh, yeah, like, so even my dance songs, like, are not really played the same more than once.
Okay.
They'll have, like, similar movements, but it's, like, never exactly the same.
I've noticed this. There's that, you know, I don't know the song titles of anything, and I apologize for that. I should have looked it up.
I don't either. It's okay. It's totally... I wouldn't know if you told me what song you were talking about.
Yeah, there's one that you play out pretty often, and it's on it's like there's a keyboard. I don't know how to. It's very epic.
Is it the one with the music video?
I don't know. I've seen the video,
the
but
aliens.
It must
There's
be.
Like aliens.
It's like dun dun.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that one I actually remember the name too. That one's called Dark Path.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I should totally know this one. Yeah. So you know, whenever you see the live show, it's different. So I think that's really cool because, you know, a lot of like electronic performers, I think they'll just have like their song and they go out and they do it. And it might be like different parts or whatever, but like yours seems to have like different energy, you know, if that makes any sense, because just like it's like a live event happening.
Yeah, I really like I don't try to, I just kind of like pick up on how the room feels. So if I walk in intending on doing one thing, I might end up just doing the exact opposite.
It happens. It's like the audio broke up on my end.
Maybe you can hold up your hand.
Okay, I'll do timeout.
Okay.
Okay, so I was saying like the thing about the energy is different, and then it was just crazy. So we're gonna have to like do that question over or something. Yeah, that's exactly what it sounded like.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay. So yeah, I was just saying that the energy is different from time to time, from like performance to performance, versus even like what's on, one recording to the next. So that's what yeah.
Yeah. I basically just kind of like channel stuff. So I'll channel the vibe of the room or whatever's happening. I just kind of like let it come in and take over. If that makes sense. It's a weird thing. I don't really know. I don't understand it. I just kind of ride that wave. Yeah. Yeah.
I there's a strong theme of like alien activity in all of the work that you do. So I feel like maybe that's part of the channeling, like some maybe extraterrestrial energies. So yeah.
Hopefully.
So you have this crazy series out, the When It Rains It Pours, and you just did volume 10. And these are like recordings of live shows, right? Are they all different live shows?
Yeah.
And you've gotten quite a bit of press on these?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about that experience of like getting the press, or like how that came about, or like just discovering that all these awesome things were written?
Yeah, so I mean, I do know Emily, who writes for Wire magazine, but I certainly never expected her to write about my stuff in Wire magazine. So that's just really, it's crazy because I have no idea. Like it's a huge honor, to have a publication that I respect that much, like write about my music. It's like, I don't know. I have no idea. It definitely keeps me like, it's got me pumped, and in a way that I'm just like, okay, well, it must not suck that much.
No, it's awesome. Like you're kicking ass. So I know what When It Rains It Pours. I feel like I know what that's all about, and but I feel like maybe a lot of our listeners probably don't know too much. So do you want to like explain the idea behind that, or like what it is and how it's like ongoing, or talk about that project a little bit?
It just kind of popped in my head one day, to actually like put out a series. I'm friends with Daniel Menche, and he always, like, ever since I started playing solo a lot, like he would always record my shows whenever he could. And he's always encouraging me. He's like, you gotta record your live sets, you gotta record them. And I started to do it, and then I realized like I had all this stuff and I had no idea what to do with it. And so then, the phrase came into my head, and I was like, I'm just gonna put out a little series, like When It Rains It Pours, and just go for it, And I have no idea when I'll stop doing it, or but I try to, like, for every single one, I try to make sure they're not all like, I mean, just like in my live sets, like I don't want to play the same thing a bunch, so I try to make sure that each release is like unique in its own way, so it's not just like, oh cool, like I'm not the, I don't know, I don't want to make it boring.
And they're all similarly like packaged, I guess you could say. They're like all available on Bandcamp, and they have like the same artwork but like different color schemes, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, this is like it's a cool kind of series thing that there are a lot of similarities from one to the other, but they're all very different.
Yeah, totally.
So.
And slowly I'm actually trying to change that a little bit. For the volume 10, I made like an interactive version that's on my website that like you can do your own visuals to, and the cover for that one is a screenshot from the visuals, and I think I'm going to try to do that for the next few, where you can actually like play the visuals with the music if you are able to and want to. So the cover art might change a little bit in 2020, especially with all this quarantine time, you know?
Yeah. So, back to, I guess, quarantine times. I don't want to like minimize the shit that we're in right now with all of this, but I feel like mental game is very important during these times, and I feel like it's important to try and find like the positive or like what's good right now in the moment. And I was wondering what your thoughts might be on what you're finding good or what could potentially change as a result of all of this in a good way.
I mean, ideally, people on a grand scale start to understand that maybe socialism isn't such a bad thing.
Yeah.
That working together is really the only way we're going to get out of any of this, even if it means working together distanced,
Yeah.
And I feel like on a small scale in our little cute bubble in Portland, it seems to be, coming together. I wish that it would spread more on a larger scale.
Yeah.
But I do definitely see that, like, even during like this time, like I've met new people teaching, like I've been showing some people how to do live streaming from the little bits of knowledge that I have from my experiences, and putting on the live stream shows that I have. I've had a couple people that I don't know play, and so like that part's really cool, is like working with people that I've never met before, and trying to give them the tools to do whatever it is they want to do. Like that's a really beautiful thing, and I really hope that kind of community continues to be a thing afterwards, because I feel like it's really important, and it wasn't so communal before,
Yeah, you're a huge DIY personality, and your website is like one of the coolest things on the internet. It's fucking crazy and always changing. How much time do you spend working on that kind of stuff, like the website, or like even like this live stream? How much of this is like, how much time are you spending doing this kind of stuff?
The live stream I've been spending quite a lot of time on, especially right now it's spring break. So I took the last 2 days off because I was really tired. I was spending like 8 to 12 hours a day on the live stream. And when I like work on my website, it'll be just like a couple days of me just like zombieing out on the code or whatever. And then I just like let it go, and then I'll check on it and be like, I don't like this, and then I get obsessive and work on it some more.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's less structured and more just kind of like when you're feeling it kind of thing. Just drill down.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. On our last interview with is that Bilbo Baggins?
It's Bilbo.
Sick. How you doing, Bilbo?
He's hungry. He wants his fourth breakfast.
Sweet. I was just gonna say, on our last episode, is that Bob Ross cup? Holy shit.
Yeah. My friend Isidore just gave me this. When you put hot stuff in it, a painting appears.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
My girlfriend gave me one where it's when you put hot stuff in it, it's like a picture of her and I at Enchanted Forest. And it's really funny.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
Today I'm drinking out of my Fresh Pop mug.
Wow.
Yeah. But I was gonna say, like, when we did the LIVESTREAM interview last year, we talked a lot about books, and you had just started reading the Neil Gaiman Norse mythology book or something.
Yep.
And I just wanted to check in with you and see, like, what kind of stuff are you reading now? Like, I feel like everybody's like on their reading game now.
I'm actually reading a ton of manuals.
Oh, shit, yeah.
And like doing a lot of tutorials on how to do streaming and coding stuff. I've been really digging into that, so I haven't done too much reading for fun. Back on that game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just hooked up all of the Libby stuff with Multnomah County, the library. It's basically like Audible, but it's free.
I've heard about this. I gotta get on that train.
Yeah, I just got on it, so got it all set up and ready to go.
So cool.
So, Hogan Slew.
Yes.
The new drop from L0rld. That track is just like goosebumps on top of goosebumps. Like, the title track from that is like probably the most epic synth build, like, outside of, I don't know, like, what is that, the John Carpenter one, Escape from New York or whatever, you know.
Oh my god.
Do you want to talk a little bit about Hogan Slew? Or how did this...
Yeah, so Hogan Slew is actually the result of me going to visit my grandmother in Italy with my mom for a few weeks. And while that was happening, Ian went and cat sat for our friend Joe, and throughout the entire...
Stephen and Melissa?
Yeah, Stephen and Melissa. That's right. The legendary Stephen and Melissa. And while he was cat sitting, he wrote Hogan Slew. And I came home to this epic, and he's like, "You got to play on this." And I listened to it, and I was like, "I don't think so." So I actually, my part of it was actually just remixing it and getting it ready for mastering, and just kind of like helping with like spatializing the audio and like doing some minor tweaks here and there. But really, it's the result of the magic of Ian's imagination. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a wonderful cassette release. Is it on EMS? Is that?
It is. Yeah.
Sweet.
It's number 3. Yeah.
Yeah, and available on Bandcamp. Yep. Is that where everybody needs to go to get it?
Yeah, L0rld.bandcamp.com. Yep.
Yeah. If that title track doesn't end up in something, like, there's no justice in this world, because that track is fucking gorgeous.
I know, it's so beautiful. Yeah. He did such an amazing job.
He really knocked it out of the park.
Yeah.
Are you guys playing this stuff out live already?
No, not yet. We'll be working on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I missed your last show with Dead Death because I was sick, and I was bummed, but I'm sorry that I missed your show. So.
That's okay. We actually did a live stream a few days ago.
I saw that. I was there for that.
And that set was fairly similar.
Okay.
So
very
didn't
cool.
miss too much. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So.
Yeah.
What are your days looking like during quarantines?
Planning out live stream stuff. Like, I'm trying to get ahead of it a little bit, but it's kind of hard because some people can't actually live stream, so they'll send me video, so I have to like make sure that I have the content that they want me to play. Figuring out like what time everything's gonna go, and then kind of starting to spread the word, and getting all that, and then trying to play some music every day, or work on some sort of sound project every day. A little bit of coding every day, keep my chops up.
Yep.
And playing with my cat.
Nice.
And going for walks.
That's right. You're in the Tuxedo Palace now.
That's right.
With Bilbo Baggins.
Bilbo Baggins, Tayshaun, and Jamario. That's right.
Oh man. Are you doing any like? I know you guys used to get around and like do the like gaming. You just have like gaming night, right? Are you doing any kind of like fun recreational thing, or is it all like task oriented, kind of like stay busy stuff?
I've been really stay busy. That's just kind of my nature. Ian's definitely he's got Xbox game dates, and then he did like a couple. I think he did like a shadow run on Zoom a little bit ago, and he's prepping to do some D&D too.
Nice.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that we have a campaign, and then he's got another one, and I'm hoping that our campaign will do something soon too.
Very cool.
Yeah.
What else is there? What were you like as a kid, Vern? I saw
my God.
I saw some pictures of you like with like Jinko jeans and like looked like a Sailor Moon t-shirt or something. Like,
yeah.
What were you like as a kid?
I was a little freak.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was a weird kid. I grew up in a home that was a lot. There was a lot of dark stuff going on, and I hung out with a lot of weird people. I used to go to punk shows and ska shows and raves all at the same time. I'd go see hip hop, and I grew up in Petaluma, and was lucky enough to have the Phoenix Theater like blocks away from my house, and that was like an all ages venue. I hung out there all the time.
Is this like the San Jose area?
This is north of San Francisco.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, the North Bay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And punk rock shows?
Yeah, tons of like punk shows and all kinds of weird stuff. I I got to see like one of my first shows was W0rld.
Yeah.
You just like see like weird stuff. I mean, I saw like Papa Roach played all the time before they got really big, because they were like a local band. Like it was a nightmare. There's like all kinds of weird stuff going on.
Yeah.
And it was like the turn of the century when I was in junior high and high school. So music was at peak weird. It was like new metal raves and like just like. But then I also liked the Melvins a lot, so I'd go see them, and yeah, very weird.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
when did the creative thing start? When did you start with like all of these crazy projects, like your computer music, like visual stuff? Like when did you start with all this?
Computer music probably started when I was like 17 or so. And I used Fruity Loops, and then a friend of mine gave me a cracked copy of Reason.
Sick.
And I got really into that. And that just kind of like snowballed into me being asked to play in a metal band, which was weird because I like had never actually touched a synthesizer before by that point. Yeah, but in high school I was more of like an art freak, so I was like really into photography and painting and collages, and I never thought that I would actually really play much music. I had a bass, but I sucked at it, and I had a saxophone and I sucked at that. Like I wasn't like
So it's like you have such like a broad and varied skill set. Like you have like all of these interests. It's pretty amazing. Like yeah.
Thanks.
You're really good at like synthesizing it all together. It's like bringing it into like a cohesive kind of vision, I think, and I don't know, I think it's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah. Did you play your W0rld lead in the metal band?
I did. Yeah,
Oh,
that was like my first baby, and it was the only synth I had for quite a while.
Same. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did the metal kids like give you shit for having a keyboard in a metal band?
Yeah, I mean, the band I was in was like too weird to be considered metal half the time, and it was too.
Did you just call it punk rock?
We just called it like whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like we didn't even really know what to call it, and no one in the band really wanted to call it anything. So that kind of, we were just like, we're just playing. I don't know. It's just happening. Deal with it. I don't know.
Did you experience any, like, I don't know, like for me it was always like kind of odd man out, or I don't know, like it was just like it was like a friction point or something, it's like, oh, keyboard guy, like what do you even, like, I'm just like, I don't know, like you guys have me in the band. Was there ever any kind of like, did you ever have to deal with that playing and like a non-traditional instrument or whatever,
Yeah, especially as a woman.
Yeah.
That was extra fun. The metal scene, I don't miss at all.
Yeah.
Like I definitely have friends that I made that are into that stuff and are part of that scene. So I'm not saying that everyone and everything about it is absolutely terrible, but holy moly. The ratio of shitty like Guitar Center vibes to not is like real high. So like being a woman playing a synthesizer in a metal band is not super fun. Especially I personally am like kind of more of a like androgynous person. Like I just wear baggy clothes and don't really like lean one way or the other. So because I wasn't like being conventionally hot on top of it, it was like extra like. Oh yeah. I was just kind of like off in the corner a lot. People were either scared to talk to me or would say really stupid shit. So I just like.
And some people are totally okay with that. Like for me, it was just like I was and I wasn't, like it would bother me. I'd just be like if I was just like, well, fuck you, I like what I like, like I'm doing what I'm doing, like it's like I don't know why like I don't for me I think it was an abrasive kind of thing, so I don't know. Were you one of those, like, were you okay with this kind of like off in the corner kind of thing, or do you think that this is kind of maybe what eventually got you out of that scene, or like... I
mean, so I like, it didn't really bother me that much because it wasn't any different from being a kid growing up and being the weirdo anyway. It was not unfamiliar territory. It was just like a new form of jocks, basically. And I didn't really notice that I didn't like it that much until I stopped being in that band and stopped playing a lot of metal shows. And then I was like, whoa, woo, like, don't want to do that again. It was definitely kind of like being in a weird relationship that you don't know sucks until you're out of it. And then you're like, oh, yeah, there was a lot of crap that I did not want to have in my life again. Like,
Yeah. Do you feel like you learned any big lessons going through that experience?
Yeah, definitely always stand up for yourself. If you even if you think like you shouldn't because you're scared, like just do it, because people need to stop thinking that they can talk to you like that, like like always stand up for yourself and call people out when they're being assholes. I think one thing that's like really frustrating about that community in particular is that there's, especially in more recent times, there's been a lot of conversation about like how hard the metal community tends to ride lines regarding like sexism and racism and like all kinds of weird stuff. And I think that they need to be more communally making an effort to make it a safe place for everyone, and stop making excuses.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it sucks, and it's not like music is supposed to be something that's like to bring people together, and it shouldn't ever feel like a scary, dangerous place. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. And in our last in the LIVESTREAM interview, you were actually talking about like when people provide a safe or quote unquote safe space, like to actually ensure that you are providing a safe space. And I think that I don't want to say like our scene is like different than that. I feel like there's always work to do, but I'm glad that you're like, there's like, you're continuously like challenging the people around you to do better with that. So yeah,
I mean, we can always do better, like I don't know what I'm talking about half the time, like
same.
But so it's like if I'm wrong, like somebody point it out, but like like I just think that like, yeah, there's always work that can be done, and there's always ways that we can make things kick more ass. Yeah. So
Also, I think it's probably like important to note that it's always like, it's not always easy to do the right thing. Like sometimes those things can be super scary and hard, but I feel like it's important to be true to that idea. I've been watching a lot of fucking Next Generation, and I'm always just like, why can't I just need to be more like Picard.
I know, everyone needs to be more like Picard. There was like that interview with him where he was saying like, I feel like the President of the United States need to watch like every episode of
Absolutely.
The Next Generation to learn about diplomacy, and it's true. Like,
yeah. So speaking of presidents, just out of curiosity, who you voting for?
Bernie, baby. Bernie. Oh my god.
I woke up this morning. Did you do this thing where you like you put, I forgot what you put in the, it's like as president of like and then you just like let your auto complete fill the rest, and it ends up sounding exactly like something Joe Biden would say. Did you do this?
No.
I know, it's like this. Sean Pierce tweeted it, and I was like, oh, what the fuck is he talking about? And I was just like,
I was wondering about that.
And so I did it. I was like, holy shit, this is actually like pretty accurate.
What a nightmare! It's really.
I don't understand. I feel.
I was in the Situation Room, so I know what I'm talking about. And you're like, no, you don't. Like, you don't.
I just like. He could just do a solid for the country and then like be a forever hero if he just like stepped out of the way and let Bernie take the nomination, because
I know, like,
that's the solid that's needed right now. Holy fuck. Like, why is Bernie Sanders the only person that makes sense on a TV? Like it's
crazy.
Yeah.
It's so, and it's like, I think what's more infuriating is actually having conversations with adults who are telling me like, well, Bernie's just like a sloppy curmudgeon. And I'm like, he's too busy telling you the truth and using his fucking brain to put on a fancy suit and shine his teeth. Like, fuck off. Are you serious? Like, you really want the fancy suit? Does that really matter? Like, can somebody make Bernie a filter so that he looks like they want him to?
Well, it's just, I feel like the important thing about making mistakes is that you, like, learn from the mistakes. So, like, the giant mistake that we made in the 2016 election as the Democrat Party or whatever, or I'm not even a Democrat, whatever. So
I know.
It's like the big mistake that you made was, like, running a fucking tool. Like, run somebody that people are excited about. Like,
yeah.
And I feel like if people are excited about Joe Biden, like, there's a serious fucking problem. Like,
well, it's just absurd. It's just like all this money has been thrown behind the guy, and like all the people who endorsed him after dropping out of the race, like, they all have cabinet seats promised to them. Mm-hmm. Even fucking Bloomberg, it's like, it's so obvious, and it's such a shitty game. Like, it's such a shitty, rigged ass game, and it's disgusting because it's at the expense of us. Like,
yeah,
it's infuriating.
So, what is your favorite character? What's your favorite quality of Bernie Sanders right now?
My favorite quality of Bernie Sanders, his absolute honesty about stuff and his ability to clarify what he is talking about.
Yeah.
When he says, "Let me be clear," he's fucking clear, and it's awesome. You know, like.
Yeah. Also, like, I'm pretty pumped that there are like no like allegations of sexual misconduct.
No,
so that's a good quality.
He has no allegations of sexual misconduct. He's been like,
Right.
an activist for fucking 50 years or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's solid. Like he is a solid, real ass dude
Mm-hmm.
who actually believes in most of the same things that I do, which is like. I have not said that about somebody running for president ever in my life. Like, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And also, like, he's like my dream uncle. Like, I wish he was my uncle, you know?
Yeah, same. There's like nobody in my family like Bernie. Nobody.
I wish I could have someone like him in my family. He's amazing.
Yeah. He seems like he'd be cool. Jeff is from Burlington, Vermont.
Oh, I did not know that.
Snake Leader Jeff, yeah, my best bro. He's from Vermont as well. And Jeff likes candy. And that's about it. That's the only two similarities I see between him and Bernie Sanders, but he's so sick of me like giving him a hard time on this show. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Hi, Jeff.
Yeah. So what do you hope? I think like we talked about what could be possibly good about this outbreak or quarantine time, and I do hope that the community spirit thing continues on, and that's it's important, and I hope that we're able to kind of come to our senses as like a country and get this like healthcare thing. And I don't understand why socialism's okay for fucking cruise ship lines. Like what? Like why is that a thing?
I don't understand.
I'm a little crazy right now. I'm sorry. I've been like in my house for like 24 days or something.
I feel you. I also have been home for quite a while. I mean, I wish that my one big hope is that everyone who's stuck inside and hasn't voted yet, vote for Bernie.
Yeah, seriously.
Vote for Bernie and I don't know. I hope this virus doesn't mess up any more voting opportunities, although it's going to, and I'm so I just feel like tearing my hair out. It's really it
can be frustrating. I saw you had Heavy Breather on the on Vern's World.
I just asked them if it would be cool to play an old episode or two, and they were like, fuck yeah, because I'm like a diehard Heavy Breather fan.
Same. Oh my god,
they're so amazing. Those dudes are hilarious. And super nice. So I was stoked that they were down to let me do that. And I'll probably be doing that more often because I feel like more people, I'm sure a lot of people in Portland may have already heard of them, and those who would be tuning into Vern's World probably already know that. But, happy to share more.
I have special memories with both Charlie and Marius, so it's good. I love them so much. Yeah,
they're incredible.
So what's gonna happen to Vern's World? How what do you have any timelines for this, or ideas, or are you already just completely burnt out from it, or?
Oh no, I have this weekend's schedule is almost hammered out. On Friday I'm gonna have Solo Lee's gonna play. I think maybe
shit, yeah.
Vosk might play, Bathwater might play, and I say might because barring technical difficulties and other, extenuating circumstances, you gotta ride the wave. On Saturday, I'm gonna have this fest that's happening in Minneapolis. I'm gonna host that whole thing on my channel, and then
holy shit! Is that with Ian's brother?
Yeah.
Guys, cool.
Yeah, and then after that, I think maybe I might have Moss Wand on, but we're still working on that one. And then Sunday, yeah.
I don't know which way it needs to go.
Oh, that looks good to me, but I can't tell. And then Sunday I'm gonna have like the Shivan crew take over, which is a bunch of people like all over. It's like Life Couch and John Rao, my friend Preston, and a bunch of people just all over the place.
Did you say Life Couch?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I love that. Holy shit.
Just gonna have some friends take over Vern's World, basically. And then like I'm collecting some video submissions, so there'll be like music videos and stuff up throughout the week, and I'm gonna have like, I think tonight, maybe later tonight, my friend Rose is gonna do yoga. I have people calling me asking if they can read stories. Like I had Noah read some, like the last, I don't even know.
24 pages of Moby Dick?
Yeah, 24 pages of Moby Dick.
I fucking love that book. I love that book. It's so good.
Ross Fish comes on and sings occasionally. That's always fun.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of just gonna keep it going like that. It's really like, it's like UHF meets Wayne's World, so it's like really just like a dream for me as a young kid, like to have this happening.
So how much of Vern's World is like actually like live, like on real time live stream?
Probably like 70%.
Okay.
Yeah, like, you know, like I said, I want to make sure that it's accessible to everyone, and sometimes it's just not that easy to get people on, but yeah, at least 70% of the time it's like streaming.
That's awesome.
So it's glitchy and weird, and you know.
I like that. I like that Twitch sometimes pitches stuff weird. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, so that has to do with the streaming. Like sometimes if your CPU is getting wonky, like it's gonna happen. So yeah, your set will get distorted and it gets wild. Yeah,
I think it was like, it might have been that Elron thing, or maybe it was one of the Mnemonic Pulse shows, one of the first ones that you were broadcasting, and I was like, oh, that weird chord change, and then I was like, I'm not sure if they're like intentionally doing that. And I was like, it took a minute before I figured it out. Yeah, I'm so old. Oh my god.
No, I mean, I noticed it on like all the videos, and I was like, are we that messed up? And I'm like, oh no, that's like just not in our control. It's just the computer going crazy.
Yeah. So do you prefer people to just like send in stuff that's already like produced for you and you just kind of throw it up there, or like, are you like having the, like kind of how we're doing over Skype kind of thing, where they, you know, it's like, and then you put it on there?
I mean, if we do it over Skype, I usually just go live. So I'll just, you know, like, all right, call me at 7:00. You're going on, you know, like.
Very cool.
And then, yeah, if they send video, then I can prep it. I am loving it when people send video, because then I can really just like take my hands off and you know, like not be as worried that something's gonna go wrong. But it's pretty fun to do it live too. So
I'm really enjoying the like Skype conversation here. I was a little nervous because I've never done one like the show over Skype like this before. So, but
it's working out.
It's doing all right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna try and do as much of the editing and stuff as possible and get this to you in a timely manner so we can go at the right time and all that, and
cool.
Make less work for you if possible. So, but yeah.
All right. We did it.
We did. Thank you so much, Vern.
Thank you so much.
Where do you want people to go? Like, because this is going to be forever archived on the internet and you know, on my audio podcast or whatever.
Holy moly.
So.
Okay. Well, you can check out my website, which is verns.world. You can also go to the Twitch channel which only has videos up for 14 days, I think. So that's twitch.tv/Vern's World, and the O is a 0. And then you got avila.bandcamp.com. You got LRun.bandcamp.com. You got the internet. I got Instagram. I got links on my website and all kinds of stuff. Sweet. Yeah, internet.
I'm so looking forward for this like quarantine stuff to be over, to just like see you guys in real life and hear some fucking really loud music. So
yeah, I look forward to that too. It'll be a really glorious time when we're all allowed to go outside again.
Yeah, so ready. So
yeah, just a few months. Just a few months.
Just a few months. Yeah.
Yeah, no big deal. It'll be fine.
Yeah. So just you know, make your $1,200 last.
You get $2,400 if you're married, because there's 2 of you.
Yeah, and like you get $500 per kid.
I should have had one.
You guys got Bilbo.
$500 for a child? Are you kidding me?
I think that's
God.
right. Yeah. And like anybody that's ever had a kid knows that you basically, you can't even pay someone to like take your kid for $500. Like,
no, you may as well like reverse that and keep the $500 for yourself and get the kid the 12. You know, like it's brutality. It's absolute brutality.
Yeah. Well, we're in it together.
Yeah, we sure are.
Yeah.
The whole world.
Why does this shit always happen when we have like Republican presidents? I don't understand.
I don't know. That seems a little weird, doesn't it?
Katrina, 9/11, whatever. Just saying. Financial crisis, whatever, you know.
Little strange.
Yeah.
Little strange.
Correlation, whatever, you know. Okay. I'm going to shut up now and give you back your time, because I know it's very valuable. But
oh, jeez.
Vern, thank you so much. I adore you guys, and thank you so much for taking time to do this, and thank you for hosting it on Vern's World, and thank you for fucking making crazy, awesome music. And,
thank you
and
so
being
much.
In the world, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, well, I'm going to do my little wrap up here, and then we'll cut it off.
All right.
You've been listening to the Form the Head podcast. We've been talking with Vern Avila of LIVESTREAM and EMS and Bear Spray and Dead and what else? There's like a bajillion bands that you're in. Oh my God.
Those are all the active ones.
Okay. So you can always find us at formthehead.net. Please give us some reviews and some likes. We super like word of mouth. And until next time, stay strong.
Vern's World, quarantine, excellence. Vern's World, quarantine, excellence. Losing your mind in quarantine time? Tune into Vern's World for the finest in quarantine programming. Vern's World's got live bands, DJs, cats, freak shows, and more. Vern's World, quarantine, excellent.